Salutations, everyone! I'm finally back with a proper theory video. This time, I'll be discussing Power of Potluck, the new Season 1 ENA short coming soon. In my previous theory videos, I theorized that the original ENA and BBQ ENA are the same character, and that Dream BBQ is a prequel to Season 1. However, I like to leave no stone unturned, so I wondered if it was possible that Dream BBQ was a sequel after all. At first, a prequel seemed much more likely, as I couldn't figure out what sequence of events could possibly lead from Temptation's stairway to Dream BBQ. But then, Power of Potluck was announced, and that, my fellow ENA enjoyers, was the missing link I was searching for. On October 25th, 2023, Joel G released the teaser for Power of Potluck, which seems to depict ENA holding the blue side of her face like some sort of mask. This mask, so to speak, has ribbons floating behind it. That got the gears in my head turning. Why was her face not on her, face? And why did she even have a blue side after Temptation's stairway? Then, on Halloween night, Joel posted a few more images to Patreon, and some of them caught my attention. They showed the mask still somewhat attached to ENA's face due to the ribbons acting almost like tendons. And then everything clicked into place. ENA tore out her own face. Let me explain. It's possible that the Runa's wish was only temporary. Perhaps it was only set to last a certain amount of time to begin with. Or, the more interesting option, she had some serious debts to pay. Now, I know how it goes. Whoever reaches the Great Runas and makes their wish first has to pay the debts of the loser. And there are two possibilities for ENA having to pay debts herself. Mooney could have tricked ENA into paying them somehow, which would be in character for her. Maybe she changed the rules of the bet at the last minute after realizing she'd have to pay ENA's debts. Or, the more interesting option, whatever debts ENA had, she has more now. Now, it's possible that any wrongdoings that came after the bet was made did not count, and ENA made one big wrongdoing, choosing to go on the quest to begin with. It seems that Runas had already gone home, so to speak, as he disappeared into the portal before ENA reached him. But ENA, persistent as she is, followed him in and chose to trespass onto the holy grounds, for lack of better words. Even Ulysses told her,
"Punishment is imminent!"
And maybe it was. Maybe Runas just decided to play the long game. By Power of Potluck, ENA has returned to her classic state. And now that she's experienced inner peace for some time, it's especially agonizing because she knows what she's missing. She doesn't want to go through the depression, the mood swings, the self-loathing, the suicide ideations, all of that, all over again. She's desperate to return to that carefree state. So desperate, in fact, that she's willing to mutilate her own face in order to be free again. The ultimate punishment. So, ENA tore out her own face, and now there is an empty space. Will a new emotion fill its place? Perhaps anger? Enter meaning. So, we're halfway from the original ENA to BBQ ENA. What about the other half? Well, it's safe to say that Runas isn't as benevolent as he seems. Yes, Baracone, I'm finally joining the Runas is a Tyrant Club. Perhaps Runas' wishes aren't free. Perhaps by merely making a wish, ENA accumulated more debt. And what's one way to pay off debt? With a job. I'm not saying Runas is her boss, but it does seem that after the initial punishment had been carried out, after she had reached such desperation that she tore out her own face, he handed her off to one of his fellow deities to pay for that wish she made many millennia ago. And with this new job, Her remaining happiness was replaced with a new face. Enter salesperson. And so, she works the job she hates so much but has no way out of until her debt is paid. Thus begins Dream Barbecue. I hope y'all enjoyed this new ENA theory. If you have anything to add, let me know in the comments. See you soon!